Several Soda Springs homes have been experiencing some mysterious flooding in their basements.
KPVI News That Works for You reporter Zane Hopen spoke with the man who it all started with about how it's affected his life and how it's expanding. Zane.
Thanks, guys. Soda Springs residents have spent thousands of dollars on water pumps, fans, humidifiers, and other things to keep this basement flooding from destroying their homes. But even as the problem continues to appear in basements around the neighborhood, it's not making the cause any more clear. Richard Johnson has lived in his Soda Springs home for over 20 years. In the winter of 2016, he first encountered a problem that would change his day-to-day life.
We had a big rain and snowstorm, and it started seeping in around where the wall meets the floor, and hasn't stopped since.
Now fast forward about 2.5 years. The mysterious flooding in Johnson's basement has only gotten worse. There's so much water that in the short time I interviewed Johnson, his humidifier was turned off. After the 7-minute interview, humidity in his home jumped from 44 to 57%.
Now I've got 8 pumps, spares, but there's 3 running 24 hours a day.
Since the flooding began in Johnson's home a little over 2 years ago, his neighbors progressively became introduced to the flooding as well. One neighbor sold their property because of it. Another nearby house was taken off the housing market because it was ruled unlivable. And one neighbor had her first encounter only a week ago. Another local area experiencing this is the Soda Springs Shooting Complex, about a mile from Johnson's neighborhood.
We do have ground runoff water sometimes in the spring, but this has started last October.
The flooding has taken up most of the 300-yard shooting range, and while everyone has their theories about what this water could be stemming from, nobody has real answers. The community has decided to come together this Saturday to discuss how to keep this from getting worse. But if things do continue the way they are, Johnson's home of 20-plus years could be seeing its last days.
Probably fill in the basement or tear the house down. That's the 2 options right now.
Johnson recently had to purchase a backup generator because he's so afraid to leave his house for long periods of time. And if you heard the sound of running water throughout that whole story, that is the exact sound Johnson has to listen to every second of every day. Live from the newsroom, I'm Zane Hopen. Back to you guys in the studio.
Okay, thank you very much, Zane.